Once, Shrikrishna was visiting Raivatak mountain alongside his beloved wife, Devi Rukmini. Devi Rukmini had organized a celebration, and Shri Krishna was personally greeting the visitors and was making sure they are well taken care of. Shri Krishna's many wives and their maids were also present at the occasion. When Shri Krishna was sitting with Devi Rukmini, Narad Muni arrived there. Shri Krishna and Rukmini greeted the divine Rishi and offered him an appropriate seat near them. After accepting the greetings of their host, Narad Muni presented Shri Krishna with a flower from the divine Parijat tree. Shri Krishna accepted the flower and handed it to Devi Rukmini, who was sitting beside him. Devi Rukmini received the flower and adorned it in her hair. Seeing this, Devarshi Narad remarked, "Devi, this flower truly belongs with you. This flower from Parijat tree is really divine. It will bloom like this for a year and will smell as you desire. This flower brings good fortune, and the person adorning this never falls sick. At the end of 1 year, it will return to its divine tree. This flower is not accessible to mortals and is loved by gods and Gandharvas. Devi Parvati adorns these flowers daily, and it is very dear to Devi Shachi, and she worships it every day." Devi Rukmini felt really blessed after receiving this divine gift and smiled at Narad Muni. Looking at Devi Rukmini, Narad Muni added, "Today, daughter of Satyajit, Devi Satyabhama, who always prides over the fact that she is dearest to Madhav, would know who is more blessed. Today, by giving this flower to you, Shri Hari has proven to me that only you are truly his second soul." This entire conversation was witnessed by Satyabhama's maids, who immediately went to her and told her about this incident. Devi Satyabhama, who always took pride in her beauty, could not digest this. This news filled her with jealousy and made her angry. She took off all her jewelry and changed into a white sari. She tied her hair into a bun and retired into her private quarters. She sat on her bed, started tearing the lotus in her hands, and made circles on the floor with her toe. When Shri Krishna sensed Devi Satyabhama's anger, he made an excuse and left Narad Muni in the company of Devi Rukmini and Pradyumna and headed towards the private quarters of Satyabhama. When he reached there, he gestured to all the maids to leave the quarter and stood at the entrance watching the angry antics of his beloved. When he saw Devi Satyabhama lay on the bed and cover her face, he quietly entered the room and stood quietly behind her bed. He playfully started waving the fan that caused the wind to blow in the room. Because of touching the divine Parijat tree, there was a pleasant fragrance emanating from his hand that filled the room. When Devi Satyabhama felt that divine smell, she uncovered her face and sat up with a curious look on her face, wondering about the source of that divine smell. When she could not figure out the source of that smell, she looked everywhere and found Shri Krishna standing behind. As soon as Devi Satyabhama looked at her beloved, tears started rolling down her eyes. Devi Satyabhama was so filled with emotions that words could not come out of her mouth. She took a deep breath and started looking down. Then slowly she raised her eyebrow to have a look at Shri Krishna and said, "You are looking radiant." With these words, a flow of tears started falling from her eyes. Looking at her beloved in such a state, Shrikrishna sat beside her, trying to wipe her tears with his hands. Shrikrishna hugged Satyabhama and said, "Dear, why are you crying? Why have you gotten rid of all your ornaments? What is the reason you are wearing white instead of your favorite red? Why are you not even looking at me? Tell me, O beloved, what wrong have I committed that you are behaving in such a manner?" Hearing these words from Shri Krishna, Satyabhama wiped her tears and said,
Nath, I had the belief that I have a special place in your heart. But today I've realized that it was all false. You always speak sweet words to me, but that is all they are. Just words. Your heart truly lies elsewhere. Now please give me permission to perform penance and be free from all worldly desires.
After saying this, Devi Satyabhama covered her face with a yellow shawl and started crying again. Seeing Satyabhama behave like this, Shri Krishna spoke, "O beloved, your sorrow pains me a lot, and I promise to do anything that brings pleasure to you and makes you happy. Please tell me what it is that you truly desire." Satyabhama pulled the cloth away and said,
Today, in front of everyone, you had given the divine flower of Parijat to Rukmini, whom you truly love, completely ignoring me. I have been told by my mates that Narad Muni proclaimed Rukmini to be your favorable wife in front of everyone, bringing great shame to me.
Hearing the true reason for Satyabhama's grief, Shri Krishna said, "I presented the flower to Rukmini because she was sitting beside me when Narad Muni gave it to me. There was no other meaning behind it. However, if this makes you so sad, I will bring the Parijat tree and plant it in your garden. Would it make you happy?" Satyabhama looked at Shri Krishna and said,
Oh Keshav, if you're able to bring that divine tree here, my anger will go away.
When Krishna said, "Let it be so," Satyabhama became happy. Shri Krishna invited Narad Muni the next day. Shri Krishna prepared himself by taking a bath, after which Satyabhama washed the feet of Narad Muni as Janardhan poured water from the golden pot. Narad Muni was treated lavishly with food, sweets, and various kinds of juices. Narad Muni, pleased with Satyabhama, extended his right hand to bless her and said, "You will always be the fortunate one." "O Devarshi, tell me more about the divine Parijat tree whose flower you gave me yesterday," Shri Krishna asked. Narad Muni told Shri Krishna and Devi Satyabhama about the origins of the divine tree. It was created by Kashyap Rishi, who then gifted it to his wife Devi Aditi. Devi Aditi observed the Punyak Vrat and donated the tree along with her husband Kashyap Rishi to Narad Muni as part of the ritual. Then Devi Shachi also observed the same Vrat with her husband Indra. After listening to Narad Muni, Shri Krishna said, "After hearing this from you, my beloved Satyabhama also wants to observe Punyak Vrat, and she would need the Parijat tree for the same. Munivar, please visit my brother Indra and tell him that he needs to send the divine tree to Dwarka so that his younger brother's wife can observe this Vrat. After performing the rituals of this Vrat, I will make sure the tree is returned to his garden in Amravati." Hearing these words from Shri Krishna, Narad Muni said, Keshav, this tree is very dear to Indra, and I do not think he would ever agree to send it away. Once, Mahadev asked for the same for Devi Parvati, and Indra made an excuse. Then Mahadev created an entire garden full of Parijat trees exclusively for Devi Parvati. Shrikrishna replied, Hey Munivar, Mahadev pardoned Indra by keeping in mind Devi Shachi. But by all means, I am his younger brother, and I deserve his affection. Moreover, I have pledged to bring the tree to Satyabhama. How can I not keep my words? Narad Muni said, I will certainly convey your message, but I have my doubts. At this point, Shri Krishna said, If Devraj does not agree to send the Parijat tree to Dwarka, then tell him that I have made a promise to my wife, and in order to fulfill that promise, I will take it by force, even if it takes for me to hit him on his chest with my mace. In part 2 of the story, we will know what happened when Narad Muni delivered Shri Krishna's message to Indra. How did Shri Krishna finally manage to fulfill his promise to Devi Satyabhama?